everyone, this is SaruiRalla's. Time for another Bloggin blog. As promised from last week, I'm doing my part 2 of movies and adaptations. Last week I did The Lion King. This time I'm doing the reaction of the Cats trailer. As the story went that I told last week, just before I saw The Lion King in theaters, I was sitting there and I saw the trailer for the upcoming December movie adaptation of the stage play Cats. And suffice it to say, I was pretty surprised. But really for the fact that there's going to be an adaptation in the first place. I'm excited. I'm still excited. So for this occasion, I have decided to add a little bit to my wardrobe. Donning my Black Panther mask. And paw pads. I was going to do my claws, but I figured the paw pads are enough. Anyway, let's get this thing rolling. So, first thing I should say is because, well, that's probably obvious because I'm doing this video, I adore the musical. And so you can imagine my wide-eyed excitement when I saw the trailer. I didn't really think about how other people would react to the trailer until I came home and I looked the trailer up and started to read the comments on the trailer on YouTube. Should have known better, right? Because all of the comments were pretty much bashing the thing and all pretty much only on one topic, which is the character designs and not much else. Have we really gotten that shallow? First, before I go into any ranting, and there will be ranting, I promise, it's time for a little history for those of you who don't have much of a care for stage plays and whose first impressions of the play are coming from the movie and from this trailer. Cats is a stage play produced by Andrew Lloyd Webber, who is known for other critically acclaimed musicals such as Phantom of the Opera, and is itself adapted from a book of poems by T.S. Eliot called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. The story of that is that Webber came to T.S. Eliot's widow, who at the time was holding the rights to his book, and asked to make an adaptation. But she didn't want an adaptation to be made on the grounds that she didn't want the characters to be made all cutesy. They turned down Disney for that reason. And when the poems were really musings on how mystical and mysterious cats can seem, and how uncanny it is that humans can see a little bit of themselves in these animals. It's strange and it's beautiful in its strangeness, and that's how Webber wanted it. And that's how he did it. So even to this day, after setting records, being one of the longest running shows on Broadway since 1981, and now returning with a touring revival, even to this day, people make fun of the musical for its being a show about dancing people in cat costumes, and don't really see the larger intent that goes back to the book itself. It's a love letter from humanity to felinity. It's probably honestly, it's probably never why there was never an animated adaptation, although fun fact, apparently Spielberg's company tried. You can find the concept art for backgrounds and character designs online somewhere. The point is, with an adaptation of Cats, the cats have to be cats, but maintain a realistic human element, which is my perception of it, and I feel that's what the movie adaptation is trying to do. It's trying to emulate the fantastical look and feel that the stage production brought. And by the way, Amblin Entertainment is doing this movie, so you can see it as Spielberg's people doing a sort of a take 2 of their adaptation idea. My personal history with cats, my introduction came all the way back in elementary school, primary for everyone overseas. I remember having a substitute teacher for maybe a week, or at least maybe a couple of days or so, in 4th or 5th grade. I don't know, the substitute thing might be a bit of a false memory, but what I do remember is learning, is that she was, among other lessons, going to teach us about musical theater, in particular Cats, telling us about this musical all about cats in this book of poems. And I've always been an animal lover, so I was immediately fascinated by the thought of this musical, and I was immediately, upon listening to the original music, enthralled by it because it was so very different and unique from what I was used to back when I was a kid. Fast forward to drama class in middle school. After that, we had a sub that day too who brought in the video version, which had been released not long ago, the 1998 video production. I was maybe only one of two kids. This was a drama class even. This was a drama class, a theater class. And I was only one of two kids that actually was interested in watching it, it seemed, while the rest of the class was starting to get loud and rowdy and eventually pissing off the sub. I don't think we got very far into the video, actually. We only maybe got as far as Rum Tum Tugger's performance. Maybe even Grisabella's, I forget. I still get angry to this day remembering how everyone in the class, a performing arts class, didn't care. They didn't really care enough to give the movie a shot. They just, well, they were all children. They just wanted to goof off because it was a substitute day. So finally, much later, I finally got my hands on the video DVD, the commemorative edition, and now I know nearly all of the songs by heart. I love it so. Though, I'm not going to try singing. I feel I sound kind of bad today to try. So, like The Lion King on Broadway and Phantom of the Opera, hell, I think I've started kindling a sort of dormant love for musical theater here. It's a dream of mine to see the production live on stage, although I don't think I'll ever get to see a full Broadway production, since it was taken off Broadway, but from what I've seen so far of the revivals, I really like it. It's pretty much the same thing, and just a little bit of choreography change, new choreography, but same music, same characters. It's just amazing. And small note, I'm glad they got rid of rapper Rum Tum Tugger. He's much better off with a rock star look. Fast forward to today with that history. So a trailer is released in the movie theaters, which is kind of suddenly in my opinion. I hadn't seen the trailer before going to see The Lion King. But it's still pretty welcome. For a movie coming up this December, a CGI version of Cats, a musical made into a movie, like many other musicals, but I digress. So, what did I think of it? First impressions. As soon as I was sitting there watching it and I heard the familiar chords of Lloyd Webber's music, my face lit up and I said out loud, "You gotta be kidding me!" I've since watched the trailer 4 or 5 times, the last of which was to help gather my thoughts for this video review. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I see the trailer again, I warm up to it a little more. I'm warming up to the idea of the movie. Plus, now whenever I look for the trailer, I refuse to even take a peek at the comments because it's just healthier that way. I mean, last time I let a fan community influence my watching something, it kind of ruined my entire experience. Yeah, but I digress. So let's start the review and the reaction with the elephant in the room, shall we? Namely, the character designs. I can tell how it can be jarring, essentially placing human faces on anthropomorphic cats, but although, other than in cartoons, when are people not feeling uncomfortable with anthropomorphism, am I right? Anyway, again though, the spirit of the stage play is the strange and uncanny connection of humans and cats, and I honestly didn't much mind the decision of the faces, even if it's a little uncanny valley. I didn't even much notice it that much at first until I read the reviews on such. To be honest, a movie is going to be quite different from a stage play anyway. It's going to be a different format. So I mean, maybe, who knows, maybe a few things can be changed before it gets released if there's so much backlash on it and they're worried that people won't come. But yeah, who knows. What I really liked about the character designs is how I could easily name many of the characters that I saw. The colors aren't even too different from their stage counterparts. Some of the costumes even told me who they were. I am a little put off by a few different color change decisions. Bomblerina's coat, for example, is supposed to be a deeper red with spots, and in the movie she looks a little more like the other Ginger Tabby cats, of which, dang, there are quite a few to think about it. I feel that Grisabella in the movie should look a lot more haggard and messy than she does. Just like in the stage play, she's supposed to be kind of mangy, very dirty. But we only did get a few glimpses of her in the trailer anyway. And plus, Skimbleshank's costume. It's just little nitpickety things that I don't feel are terribly important to the play. An important part of my own to make is I'm not going to be criticizing the character designs as much as you guys are, so much as whether or not the musical is represented, how well the musical is represented in movie form. The choreography still looks beautiful, the dancers' movements are fluid and cat-like as they should be. Victoria is still played by a dancer with mad ballet skills. The music is still Andrew Lloyd Webber's music. Jennifer Hudson's rendition of Memory, many of you guys probably don't like it, but I found it rather beautiful and chilling. There's rumors that there are even new songs in the movie, but there were only, rumors. It doesn't say anything about that in movie synopses that I've seen, but if Lloyd Webber is involved with it in any way possible, and if you've seen the behind-the-scenes video of the 1998 video production, you would know that Andrew Lloyd Webber is very, very, very strict about how this performance goes, about how the music goes. That's how much he loves it and how much of a passion project it was for him. So if he's involved, it'll still be interesting to hear if there is new music. I just want to hear all the songs that are in the play, really, if not most of them, all the important songs. And I feel that they will all be there, considering the cast of characters, but more on that in a minute. Finally, the environment. The environment of the movie looks absolutely gorgeous. They're like huge sets, like oversized sets, because they're supposed to be from a cat's point of view, and cats are tiny, as opposed to a human's point of view. It's interesting to see they're playing with perspective here. But yeah, the sets look absolutely beautiful. It looks like the whole thing isn't going to be put in a junkyard as in the play, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But surely, if you guys look past the characters' looks, you'll agree with me. Most of you anyway. Seeing the behind-the-scenes video on the movie, I feel that they really did want to bring the world to life in as good a way as possible for us. Guys, there are award-winning people working on this. Award-winning choreographers. Have some room for reasonable doubt, is all I'm saying. Look past this one thing that you can't seem to look past. Going into the cast, Rebel Wilson, who's playing Jenny Anydots in the movie, said that all the backlash the trailer is getting may ultimately be good for the movie, as people will be curious about it. They'll be flocking to see it. Yeah, I can just see the process. Let's see. They're going to go to the theater, perhaps, to see this dancing cat movie, get a good laugh maybe, and they'll end up probably as enthralled as anyone who's gone to see the musical for the same reason. If anyone does their research, the musical got its own backlash when it was released, if I recall. It was a risky investment for Lloyd Webber. It was a risky investment for all of them. And yet, it still won its awards, guys. Just saying. Next up, as I got into the next one, casting. People quite easily get up in arms when a movie has an all-star cast because it feels like, they're fishing for views and for more audience, but honestly, still keep in mind that everyone they get are still professional performers, and I feel they still try to get the best people that they could that fit the parts at hand. For example, in particular, I can't wait to see Sir Ian McKellen, Gandalf himself, playing Gus the Theater Cat. It's a perfect choice, in my opinion, a very, very appropriate choice. Just like Sir John Mills in the video version of Cats, they get a veteran performer who could put a lot of meaning and poignance into Gus's song, and I feel he's perfect. I felt he was perfect. Also, I like that they got Idris Elba to play McCavity. This guy, he's quickly becoming a go-to performer for villains, or at least grouchy characters in general. But yeah, I felt that was a good choice too. I also feel somehow that Taylor Swift is a fairly appropriate choice for Bumblearina. I was going to be more sarcastic about that, because I have some opinions about her as a singer. But after seeing the behind-the-scenes little vignette for the movie, and hearing that she has a background in the performing arts, in theater, and that she was very enthused about this movie, you know what, I can't really begrudge her. I can give that a pass. Also, at first I was a little skeptical, just a little skeptical at seeing Old Deuteronomy was being played by a woman when traditionally he's played by a man, an older man. I was a little bit skeptical, but the woman is Judi Dench, and after reading about her, how she was supposed to be in the original 1981 production as Grisabella, but tragically she had to bow out of it because she had suffered a traumatic Achilles tendon injury and was replaced by Elaine Paige, who still, by the way, is best Grisabella, in my opinion, from the video. Best Grisabella, Elaine Paige. Not gonna lie. That's where her Cat's career ended, before it even began, until this movie. And she's going to be playing Old Deuteronomy. I mean, after hearing her history, yeah, I can give that a deserved pass too. I can give that decision a deserved pass. But I'm just happy in general to read that all of the important cats are still in the cast. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer too, although they don't seem to appear in the trailer and people were wondering where they are. No, yeah, they're in the movie. Let's see. Demeter is there, Plato is there, Cassandra, Alonzo, Syllabub, better known as Jemima. Everyone with their own song. Everyone's going to be there. Everyone important, plus, you know, the ensemble cats. That I can be happy for. That makes me feel a whole lot better about the decision. They're including everybody. And finally, the story. I'm really, really curious as to how the musical will be fleshed out for the movie. And if everyone's personalities will stand out just as well, and how varied they are. From my first impressions of the movie, of course, it looks like it'll focus on Victoria, the white kitten. Maybe her going to the ball for the first time and meeting everyone along the way with their songs. I'm not surprised they focused on her. Victoria is supposed to represent the play itself. Fascinating tidbit there. She's supposed to represent the play, the beauty and mystery of cats. Along with Jemima, or Syllabub in America, who's supposed to represent the innocence and playfulness of the play. They both represent the play, but Victoria has a little more of a focus on her in the play, because she's a kitten coming of age. Every one of the characters has their own personality and a little bit of their own stories to add to the play, and that's what makes it unique. Every character is utilizing their personality and their interactions, and they're doing something, and it's just awesome. It's fairly natural that the movie's focus would be on her too, because she's like the poster child for the play, basically. Even if it turns out that she has just a partial focus. I mean, I could probably see another focus being on, say, Demeter, because she has a sort of connection to McCavity. And a little bit to Grisabella as well. But yeah, I'd like to see that anyway, but I'm sure we'll see what happens. I'm not sure how the movie will go about the personality. I feel they'll try to make the play's plot to the best of their ability and flesh it out a good bit. And yet, I noticed that just from this one trailer, this one trailer, people are already throwing out wild theories about the plot. I mean, for example, I read that someone thinks that Victoria and Mistopheles are outcasts in this, akin to Grisabella. Is there something else out on the movie that I missed? Guys, there's only one trailer out. One trailer. You can't claim to know the entire movie by just one trailer. Plus, there's a certain trope from TV tropes, for those of you in the know about this that should know. Trailers always lie. Movie trailers, at least in America, have a tendency to only show the humorous parts of a movie, or, you know, the exaggerated dramatic parts, whatever, just to help bring the audiences in. They feel that's what attracts people. Pulling in crowds, without showing the true depth. Although, if the trailers really showed the true depth, they'd be going into spoiler territory, which there's a method behind their madness, I can only imagine. But, point is, we won't know the entirety of the story until the movie comes out. So, how about just holding out your spitting and hissing and shoe throwing until then? Anyway, I guess that's enough of my ranting just about that. I believe I've hit all the points I wanted to make about the trailer, the likes, the dislikes, my expectations, my predictions. All in all, I think that the movie deserves a chance. As a movie lover and as a Cats lover, and just someone who's level-headed. I want to see what they do with it. I want to see the dancing. I want to hear the music. I want to hear Memory in full heart-rending theater HD, for God's sake! If it doesn't meet expectations, then remember, there's always the original. In fact, if any of you I'm talking to have never seen the play, go pick up the DVD or Blu-ray of the 1998 stage production of Cats. I feel like that's what sets the bar for performance adaptations. It's a must-watch. I feel that's a must-watch. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. If you agree with me, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. All I ask is that people be a little more open-minded and have your own opinion and don't cave into the masses. I can say that about anything, really, and that much of the problem with reviews is that people cave into the masses a little too much. That's it for me. And that's it for my trailer reaction. If you guys have something more for me to make a blog about, I'll return to my regularly scheduled gaming videos. But expect more blogs in the future if I have more things to say. And I hope you liked my little costume change and my little, slightly better video quality for this one. So yeah, if I have more rants, I'll bring them. Otherwise, I'll come back to my normal schedule. So yeah, have a good one, keep adventuring, bye-bye.